right for RPG.
Right now, when we start.
Well, I mean, you're talking about the humours of whiskey. Those drinking rules that we used were quite good. I think I had a lot of fun for that.
Yeah.
They were great. It was some
Yeah.
hilarious moments that were a result of them, for sure.
And we only went through a small selection of the
Very
drinks.
small
There's
selection of
plenty
drinks.
more to find out.
But speaking of books in which you could potentially find at some point in time, last week,
Oh boy, what happened?
the party who had made their way to Bryn Chanda, looking to try and, I guess, find the speaker, was unable to necessarily find the speaker, found a clerk who no longer exists in canon, and made their way to the House of the Morning Lord, previously a place where Horatio had spent some time. Run into Mishan, who runs the House of the Morning Lord. Had a good conversation there about what you've done, what Horatio's spiritual journey seems to be like.
So many questions.
A bit of information about the town, and you're also introduced to a gnome who, at the end of the night when you guys had just sort of gone away for a bit of a quiet talk, had approached Horatio and by proxy all of you with a problem that he has with lack of communication with a friend that's living somewhere out in the wilds of Icewind Dale. But that was then, and this is now.
You're not wrong.
You guys were interested in going to a tavern, maybe to look for some information, maybe just to have some time to relax. I know Horatio was also interested in some books that might be in the library.
I'll have a cheeky browse later tonight when we get back from the tab.
And some of you might have some other things you want to do as well. So, first, what do you guys want to do?
Tav.
Tavern.
Tavern?
Tab.
Let's go.
Okay.
Let's talk more tab.
I've been pre-drinking back in the room before we left.
I was going to say,
That's hand sanitizer.
Now that takes me back. Pre-drinks in my room.
Yeah,
that takes me back.
A few vodka cruises before heading out.
Now, has Woden been pre-drinking or has Andrew been pre-drinking?
Well, it's none of your business.
I think it's everyone in my business. Okay, so from the House of the Morning Lord, you know that you have to head northwest.
Before we leave, can I ask if Maribel, what's her name?
Mishan?
Mishan.
Where did you pull Maribel from?
She's a cow.
This noggin. Can I ask her to watch over Otto?
So you're going to approach Mishan, yeah?
Yeah. So, I know they're not allowed in the room, but could you look after my owlbear and this very nice dog?
I see that they are your friends, yes, as well.
Yeah.
Then all of those I've accepted for this evening will be protected by the light of the Morning Lord.
That's good to hear. Good on the Morning Lord.
You don't sound serious.
I don't know how
Give
to
me 5 Hail Marys right now.
Hail Mary. I don't worship your Morning Lord. I'm sorry. I don't want to offend. But I don't want my owlbear to wreck your room. Do you have a stable that you can keep in it?
Yes, I think we can find a place for them.
Excellent. Well, he doesn't...
You don't worship the Morning Lord.
Oh, mate, I was supposed to say... Yes, I do. Yes, definitely a minotaur.
Roll a deception check. With disadvantage?
You almost said Lathander.
Yeah, that was like,
Lathander
who's
as well.
that one?
Love Lathander.
Disadvantage?
Oh, it could go lower. Go on, roll
It
again.
could go worse.
We can go worse. We didn't, but... Deception?
Yes.
4.
Yeah, that failed.
A smile?
Do you really think it wise to lie in a house like this?
No, it probably wasn't the wisest choice, but it's my first time in a little temple thing, wherever I am.
Wisdom is gained by experience. You worship another, yes? Mm-hmm. You may speak freely here. As you know, Horatio worships a god that isn't specifically worshipped here. We accept all kinds. We have to. The town is not big enough for specific temples. Who is it that guides your hand?
Moses.
Sylvanus.
Ah, yes. He sort of looks
yes. Classic.
Classic druids. Always about Sylvanus.
Those bloody trees.
And she gives you a look. There are many that follow Sylvanus here. The wilderness can be a treacherous place. You are a devout follower?
You could say that. As devout as you are to a monitor.
Interesting. Are you part of the clergy?
No.
Side note, does Sylvanas have clergy, men and women?
I wouldn't think so. Not with the way that druids are, but people that aren't druids might. But I wouldn't be familiar with it.
Oh, okay. Followers of Sylvanas who are not druids.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, they don't. They don't have to be. I mean, the thing is, like,
Yeah, I'm
like
just saying, like, druids probably wouldn't, but other people would.
yeah, and look, there are clerics of Sylvanas as well. Just
Yeah,
as much.
this
Like,
is
there's definitely like,
Personal curiosity.
yeah, clergy. But yeah, and also you don't have to be part of the clergy to worship a deity either.
No.
But often, because of the nature of that particular deity, hunters, people that are often out in the wild by themselves, druids are classic example of that. But it can represent a lot of things to a lot of people, and that wild and nature, like that wild spirit, is definitely part of it. I can see that you've been touched, though. You must be a bit of a favoured one.
Yes, please don't touch me, though, like you did with Woden.
I'm going to touch you now.
Please don't.
She touches your face.
Pull away from her hand.
No, come here,
No,
child.
get away from me. I'm not an actual cat. Leave me
Get
alone.
my touch.
I hope you
And
wash,
she
Just
touches.
scratches your ears.
scratch your face.
Is
No,
your
I
hood
don't
up,
do that.
or is it?
It's down now, yeah.
And she sort of, she does touch you. She just touches you on the cheek lightly, and she turns your chin a little bit so she can see you better.
Yeah, I'm gonna pull away from her.
As
Her
this is
hand.
happening, I'm going to sort of walk downstairs and sort of see that Sveta's really uncomfortable and sort of clear my throat very loudly. Mishan, we'll be heading to the tavern before coming back.
Of course.
Yes, drinks and whatnot.
Of course. And she smiles at Sveta. Don't lose yourself too much, wild spirit. And she turns on her heel and walks away.
Alright. Just wave at her. Like a really awkward wave. Light and whatever to you.
Oh yes, light and whatever to me too.
She should have been like
She
trees and
shoots
whatever.
Trees and
Let the
whatever.
wind blow up your kilt or something or other. I think that's the expression.
Let us not forget that she's giving us a free room
Yes,
for a night.
it's very awkward. She was touching me. She touched Walden. Why is she touching everyone?
Let's talk about it outside where she lives.
Okay.
I can still hear you.
Hello.
Yes, I can hear everything in town.
My God lets me hear
Every
everything
time
within
we
this
talk
temple.
about it, everywhere her head just pops in. I can hear you.
I have secret tunnels all throughout this house.
Listening.
Have you seen the eyes move in the pictures?
Oh, I don't want to live here anymore.
I mean, good thing we're living in, like, tomorrow.
Yes.
Anyway, so the tavern is, you have to head northwest, and again, the city is not planned out like really structured roads, so you find yourself on main roads, turning into alleys that turn into, short streets, but eventually you can head towards the North Gate, and just off from the North Gate is the Northlook, a inn and tavern that, as you can see as you approach, is very much lit, very much has patronage, because you can hear rowdy people from within.
Shall we head in? Are you, Cornelia and Sveta, are you covered at this point, or?
Once outside, Carnelian would have been, like, hood back up.
Same. Yeah.
Okay.
You approach the door, and just as you do, the door bursts open, and falling out backwards is a man that seems to just rolling out in front of you. Another man follows him out quickly and jumps onto him and starts punching him.
Whoa.
Ah!
Oh, boys, break it up, break it up.
What's that? And he turns and takes a swing at Woden.
Shit.
First rule of Fight Club, don't break them up.
16?
It does not hit. I duck out the way.
Nice.
Oh, wait, no, hang on, I wouldn't
Would you
have
have
my
your
shield.
shield
No, wait on, let me take that off.
Let me just slip out of that
Subtract
shield
2.
real quick.
Track 2, then that does hit.
He socks you across the face. Take 1 point of damage.
Fine.
You got lucky. He does not, in fact, have the tavern brawler feat.
Thank goodness.
Please continue your fight without us. We're just going inside now.
"Will do!" And he just jumps on the person and starts punching them again.
They turn into like a white dust
Yeah,
cloud.
it's just like, and then after a while, if you watch them, like they're both like sitting there, they grab each other's shoulders and they stand up and they walk off into the distance.
How many points of damage, sorry?
1.
Guy got me right in the false life.
Are you okay?
I cast it again.
Sure.
You look remarkably unharmed. Well,
Didn't even hurt.
well,
Must have been drunk.
Let's go inside then.
First round's on me.
Is it?
I like where your
Yes.
head's at. I'll have one.
Get whatever you want.
It's the same. It's still the same day, isn't it?
Chances are.
Yeah, you guys are hungover.
Well,
Yeah,
almost. But
mild.
we're probably at the stage now where we're just really tired.
Chances are they're only going to have one kind of thing.
It's a big city.
Yep.
Let's
Yeah,
find
but
out.
the mead probably hasn't been coming in, so
Well, they did say that the other sleds have been going out.
that's
so
true. We
could
might be
have
able to
mead.
get some mead.
Walking in, you can see a very busy sort of main hall area. There's plenty of seats. Like, people are sitting, talking, yelling. There's a couple of people in the corner that, like, seem to be in a bit of a, similar to what you saw outside. They're just sort of roughing each other up a bit. Although no one seems to be seriously in a fight. You can see people are standing around laughing. A couple of people jeering, giving tips like, "Oh, use your left! No, your other left!" And you can see along this long hall is there, at one end there's a bar, which is being manned by a person, a gruff sort of looking person with a scar down one side of his face, and very, very heavy stubble on his chin. He's serving a number of people at the bar, and you've got just tables and tables in between, and then in the middle there's a big fireplace that's just roaring at the moment. And above the fireplace, there's this huge stuffed and mounted fish that's just over the fireplace.
Is it a knucklehead trout?
It is a knucklehead trout. It's just enormous.
That's the biggest
Wait, it
knucklehead
is?
trout I've ever
Yes.
seen.
All right then.
Is it just one floor?
It is just one floor, but it's a huge open area. You can see this is one floor where you are, but if you go towards the bar area, there's a set of stairs that lead to what was obviously like the next part of the building, and the tavern, the inn part is separated. So there might be a couple floors there.
Okay.
This is the breakfast. Back there is the bed.
Yes, correct. Well, this is the ale, there is the place you sleep it off.
Alright. Well, I go... Oh, what does everyone want?
Mead, if they've got it.
I'll go mead. We'll find a seat, perhaps somewhere out of the way.
Alright.
Do you want me to come up with you to hold some drinks?
If you want, yeah.
Come up.
Okay. So, where are you sitting? Anywhere interesting in particular, or just the nearest place? that's
Looking
open?
for somewhere inconspicuous, maybe in the corner, a bit less light.
Okay. This is a big open area. It's not like there's sort of nooks and crannies to necessarily get yourself into, but you can sort of find yourself away along the wall somewhere towards the one end of the...
Yeah, just trying to stay out of the action.
And you can see this is probably the quieter part. Like, there's a few people that are sitting here at different seats, and they're sort of talking amongst themselves. This is sort of a little bit less lively than the other place in here. Woden and Sveta, you approach the bar, and you can see there's just a single man that's manning the bar, and he's just slinging drinks back and forth. People order them, slam down some money, and he'll just slide the mug across. Looks like he's mostly serving ales, and every so often he might be able to serve a mead to someone that asks for it. By just listening to the shouts, you can tell that an ale is 4 copper pieces, and a mead is 1 silver.
Okay. Well, Woden goes up to the bar, and he was feeling like a wine, but seeing this guy with a big scar on his face and some, like, rough stubble... 4 ales, man!
He turns to you, "Wait your turn!" And he's like,
I don't wait for anyone! I slam my
"You'll
fist
wait
on the bar.
in my house!"
Alright, I will!
And he turns around and like moves down the bar, serving out drinks that way. And he eventually gets back to you. "What was it?
4 ales, please, sir.
4 ales?" And
I'll
That'll be-
Tuggy's like, I'm pretty sure some of them wanted mead.
Sorry, yeah, I did mean to say mead.
so 4 meads then. That'll be 4 silver. And he
Yep.
walks away.
I'll give it to him. Well,
Comes
I
back.
put it on the bar.
Comes back, 4 meads, puts it down in front of you, swipes the silver off the bar, and then just books it to the next people that are asking. It's very busy, and he seems to be by himself.
All right, Sveta, you take 2, I'll take 2.
Okay. Grab 2.
Is there anyone at the bar that looks like they're worth chatting to?
I mean, there's a lot of interesting characters here. You see a number of people that are openly wearing weapons. No one seems to necessarily be paying it any mind. You can see a couple of people that have got full, like, gear that they've obviously just chucked down somewhere, and they're around a table and they're drinking, making merry. Maybe this for you feels a little bit like home. I mean, it's almost like this is as close to something that might get to maybe an adventuring guild. A lot of people here seem to come here at the end of a long journey, or just as part of what they're about to set out.
Do I see anyone with a hammer?
No, you do not.
Okay. All right, back to the table.
Very well.
Mm-hmm.
You thread your way back to the table, nearly losing your drink a couple of times, but you do spot Carnelian and Horatio at the other end.
I'll give him a little wave.
Is there anything you guys want to do while you're waiting for the drinks?
Drop some eaves.
Okay.
Would you like a hand picking up those eaves?
Maybe
Wait,
an
what?
ear.
What?
Roll a d10.
Oh. How many eaves did you drop? Not many.
2.
2. You're listening out, and where you are is a bit quieter than where you like at the other end, where people are just generally, making merry and having drinks and just having a good time. But where you are, you know that people are sort of discussing things a little bit quieter. But with a careful ear, you are able to pick up almost in the booth. Like if this was booths, it'd be like just behind you, and you can see that there are 3 dwarves that are very quietly talking to one another. 2 of them look like they are pretty much like you would describe them as like almost stunned. Like they're just the one dwarf is doing all the talking, and they're just like sort of just every so often they'll give like a little shake, or they might mumble something under their breath. You can hear them talking about something to do with a shipment. So they lost, but you're not really sure. And then one of them looks over to you and sort of catches you listening in, and then they look you up and down. They go back to talking to amongst themselves.
What was he talking about, Carnelian? You seem to be able to hear.
It sounds like they'd lost something.
You think it's worth asking him if they want a hand finding it?
Absolutely not. Are they speaking in Dwarvish?
Yes, but every so often you'll hear common words slipped in.
Okay.
That's how you heard like, oh, do you know Dwarvish? Right.
So if they're going to be if they're going to switch to a Dwarvish, Carlion's going to continue listening to what they're saying.
They're already using Dwarvish. They're slipping some common words in. These are dwarves, like they're shield dwarves.
Yeah.
And they're discussing something that looks really important. All of them have, if you look at them a bit closely, they all like are still in their full warm weather gear. Even though that like in this hall it's actually quite warm, you'd usually take your coat off. All of them appear to be rugged up. One of them the animated one appears to be somewhat annoyed. Talking about a shipment, something that went wrong.
Like at your location?
Not necessarily. Although when they saw you, they turned and started talking a little bit quieter and more hurriedly.
Could I perhaps roll a perception to try and listen in a bit more, like focus in on that conversation?
Roll a perception check.
14.
14. They're now discussing about how to recover said shipment. Talking about they might need someone. It's like they're trying to look around. You can see they're eyeing off different people that have swords, have equipment, and you can just sort of see the one that's sort of been doing all the talking is sort of scanning the room.
On second thought, they might be hiring.
Do you think it's worth introducing ourselves?
We'll wait for
Once our friends get back?
we'll wait for Woden to get back. I'm sure Woden would love this.
And just as you say that, you see Woden and Sveta threading their way through the crowd and give them a little wave.
Nearly got the wrong thing. I was all flustered at the bar, but I got you some mead. Here you go.
Thanks,
Is there a
Woden.
pretty girl up there?
Very
No.
strong man.
Oh, I didn't know.
Just as good. What are you guys talking about?
What? Carnelian will grab 2 hands,
Here you
grab
go.
the pint mug, and just. There was some dwarves just over there, and Carnelian will
Where?
look.
And he turns around and looks very blatantly.
They might be hiring.
Oh yeah?
You should ask them about it.
Hey!
They're looking for strong people with weapons.
Hey! Excuse me.
What are they hiring for?
They're trying to recover something.
Yes, you.
So, if you make enough noise and make it obvious that you're talking to the 3 dwarves, all 3 of them will stand up and turn to you.
English?
Common.
Common?
Sprechen Sie kommen?
I'm going to read this text. 3 stocky figures, bundled in cold weather garb, stumble towards you. They have snowshoes slung over their backs and ice picks fastened to their belts. 2 of them have thick beards. The third holds up a gloved hand and says through a thick wolf scarf in a raspy voice, "Well met! I'm Runa. These are my friends, Kurox and Storn. Aye, we need your help, and you look capable."
Oh, we're capable. What do you need help with? We can do lots of things.
And she looks at you and looks at her 2 companions who just seem to be somewhat stunned.
Sorry, she?
She.
Who's female.
She doesn't
Okay.
have a
Female
beard.
dwarf, she doesn't have a beard.
Oh, hence
That's
the...
how you can tell.
Come,
I
sit.
mean, not always.
Sit at our table.
Coming. 1 sec.
And you can see there's a couple of half-empty ale mugs in front of them.
Should we join you?
Yeah.
Yes?
Fine.
I'd hope all of you would come.
Yes, I was sort of directing that at Woden. Okay, yes, okay.
And once she's settled down, she makes sure that everyone's sort of settled a little bit. And you can see that raspy voice, now that you have a look at her, she's all covered up in the scarf and everything. But if you look closely, you can see that she has lost her right ear. And when she puts her hand on the table, 2 of the end fingers are gone. One of them, who you think was Kurox, is just standing there silently, doesn't say anything, and he has 3 fingers missing on one of his hands as well, and part of his nose seems to also have gone.
If we can see the nose being missing, would you say it's a medicine check or a survival check to determine if that was frostbite?
You could do either.
May I assist him?
You may do independent checks if you want a medicine check and a survival check.
I will
or-
go for the survival. That was a 15.
15. Would you like the medicine check as well?
Yeah, medicine. 11.
11. I mean, look, that's still probably good enough for the medicine part of it. And survival would also be high enough to, definite signs of frostbite. And if the medicine check's anything to go by, somewhat recent. You can also see that Storm isn't saying much either, but every so often, just any slight noise from above, and he's looking up, and his head swivels, and he's nervous about something.
Is it like a chandelier creaking?
He's
Or
expecting
are there no
something
chandeliers in here?
There's no chandeliers in. Well, there's probably some central
Iron braziers.
yeah. But it's just he glances nervously up towards the rafters, as if he's expecting something to fall on him.
So, what's the mission?
Sorry, what was your names?
My
I
name.
introduced ourselves. No idea what you are. Who you are.
I'm Horatio.
How you are.
I'm well. How are you?
I am Carnelian, and I am good.
Little one, you must be tough to have come in here and to bring Shanda, bold as you like.
Having friends helps.
I see. Horatio, was it?
Yes, at your
Speak up,
service.
man. Come on.
At your service, my good woman.
That'll do. You.
Woden Chromehurst.
Strong
Luskin.
name. I like it.
Thanks.
And you.
Just Sveta. That's it.
That's a very strange name, Just. I'll keep it in mind.
Yes, please do. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Horatio,
Choose your full
Carnelian,
name.
Woden, and Just.
Short
Must
for
have been-
Justinian.
You must have been raised by some lawful family around here somewhere.
Her sister's name's
Is
Kind.
is just short for justice. Let me write this down.
Anyway, what did you need?
Yeah, you seemed desperate before.
We're survivors of a group of dwarves who were tasked with delivering a sled of iron ingots to Bryn Shander.
Ah, slingets.
Yes, but survivor, a yeti surprised us and killed a member of our group.
Bloody Yeti surprises.
I got one in an egg once, can you believe that?
What kind of check would you give for information about Yetis?
I will tell you after I finish reading the box text.
Thank you.
The rest of us fled as the yeti tore Ubok limb from Lynn. Now, someone needs to go back there and get the sled for us. As payment, we can offer each of you a gemstone worth 50 gold pieces, and the friendship of the dwarves of Icewind Dale. That can be a boon in these harsh times.
Indeed.
You'll need snowshoes for the trip. Do you have any?
We do have snowshoes.
Yes.
That is fortunate.
So do you represent the dwarves of the 10 towns, do you, Rona?
I couldn't claim to be as such, but I do tell you that you'll have the thanks of the Black Iron Blades.
The Black Iron Blades.
We'll give that an insight
Sounds
to
so
see
cool.
how truthful she is being with that statement. 16.
You think there's a good chance that she's being truthful there. The Black Iron Blades... Black Iron Blades is a smithy, an outfitter here in Bryn Shander. So obviously the delivery was meant for them. I'm sure if we could get the iron back, they would give you a grateful discount. I'm a friend of the owners. Also, you'd have the thanks of Clan Battlehammer as well, that runs the mine in the valley at Kelvin's Khan.
Oh, we were near there. If we are successful, do you want us to reconvene at the Black Iron Blades?
Yes, if you could bring the shipment to the Black Iron Blades, that would be ideal. They're expecting it, and I had to go past there today to let them know the shipment had been lost. But perhaps stout adventurers would be able to get it back. That's why I came here this evening.
Approximately how far away were they assaulted by yetis? Do you have any rough idea where they were?
Hopefully it was Yeti singular and not plural.
Yes.
Yes, yeti.
If you travel in a straight line between here and Kelvin's Khan, midway through towards the Dwarven Valley, you will find the sled.
That's where
Through the hills, or is there a footpath, or an actual path?
There's no path. Generally, we don't usually follow established roads, since coming straight out of the Dwarven Valley, we can make a straight line to Bryn Shander if we're careful.
There's a Verbig heading that way.
Verbig.
Yeah.
We came into town chasing a Verbig. It was headed...
It was unclear. It could be heading north to Tourmaline, or it could have bared northeast to the Kelvin's Khan.
The woods we came out of, I think Tourmaline is more likely its destination. Or maybe it was just going to go hide in the hills.
In that vicinity it was heading.
That is concerning. I am worried that someone will discover the sled first and take off with the contents.
Do you have insurance?
The premiums are a bit high.
Do you have extremities cover?
We live in a place that doesn't see much of the sun and is in dangerous blizzard conditions a lot of the time. Last time I tried to get an application for an insurance, they turned me down. Something about not meeting the prerequisites.
Premiums are off the charts.
Now you have pre-existing conditions, and that's terrible.
I feel like you're making light of my condition, and
Sorry,
let's
let's go back a little bit.
making my companion sad.
Would you want us to leave immediately?
Well, as soon as possible. As I said, if you say that there is a Verbig heading that way, I worry that it might find the sled and take off with it. I was already loath to leave it as it was, but we had no choice.
It's probably too late in the day to start.
Oh, I don't want to leave right
I
now.
would strongly, advise against leaving now. Is there any more information you could perhaps give us, Aruna, to assist if we were to assist you?
There's not much. We were set upon all of a sudden by the Yeti, and we had to leave in a hurry. I do know that it should be fairly easy to find if you do draw a line straight from Bryn Shander to Kelvin's Khan and just follow that direction. The Khan is big enough to always set as your waypoint. If you keep it in sight directly ahead of you, you should run into the sled soon enough.
Understood. Is there somewhat of a path, like an unofficial trail?
No. The snow here changes too much for anything like that to stay for long. The sled's heavy. It's by itself, it's 300 pounds. And then the extra iron that's on it is another 600, so...
What was pulling the sled?
Bears.
What was the dwarf's name who got torn apart?
Ubok.
Ubok was pulling that.
Yeah. All of a sudden, yeah, the strongest dwarf I've ever seen. Why, if he was not tied down from the sled, I'm sure he would have taken that Yeti limb from limb. As it was, our hubris of saving money where possible led us to not be able to allow him to fight back.
Sudden Deep Rock Galactic vibes.
Yeah.
So
He was the strongest dwarf of his time. I watched him wrestle at the base of Kelvin's Khan.
The only dwarf to ever be rated for 1 ton.
They call that a 1-ton rotator.
his part Goliath.
They say his father was a Goliath, which was awkward for his mother.
So, question for you then.
Answer for you, Just. Yes.
Say we were to find this cart. How do you suggest we get it back to you? Do you have extra bears that we can borrow?
I do not carry bears with me.
Not in your
unfortunately.
pocket, but like in a.
I don't have abilities to summon bears out of nowhere.
Oh, I should get that ability.
We do have that ability.
You can become one. That's one.
I am actually legitimately curious if the bears thing is legit, or if like you were like, how did
No, it was not.
If my question is like
Yeah.
completely caught you off guard.
No, it doesn't really say what was pulling it, so I'm going to assume whatever it was attacked as well. Probably donkeys. Lots of them.
Holy god, that's a lot.
So many donkeys.
Like if it's a sled on ice, like you could probably get it. Like you probably have like 2 or 4 donkeys to pull the whole thing.
It wouldn't be dogs, I don't think, because it's too big for that. Potentially it was like, just some massive draft horses.
Dwarves tend to not stick with horses just because of their general height. I'd say like mules or donkeys is
probably
more
just
likely.
a batch of them, yeah.
Perfect. Do you think we could hire some beasts of burden perhaps in town to pull it?
I don't know. To be honest, it caught us a bit by surprise. I haven't had much time to reset ourselves. All of us are in shock.
Would you be willing to cover our costs for beasts of burden in order to bring back your supplies?
How about I can reimburse you the cost of Beast of Burdens if you make it back, as I have not been paid for the delivery of iron that I was about to make.
That's fair.
Very well. Would you shake on it?
Aye! And she puts her, hand with 3 fingers out.
Pinky swear? I'm sorry, Cobra.
Sorry, let me shake with my ice pick. That's how the dwarves do it.
Oh, the deal's off. I shake a hand. What's left of it?
Oh my! You just can't help yourself, can you? Rolling back to the previous question, what would Carnelia know about Yetis?
Roll probably going to be a nature check, but let me
Yeti check.
check that right now. No. Monstrosity, so it'd be an Arcana check? Or, you know what, if you make a good enough nature check, that's also okay. Or even a history check. Yetis are pretty, common knowledge here.
Oh, that's a 20.
Yeah.
Well, a
Yetis.
natural 20, so it's a 22.
I mean, Yetis are dangerous. No joke. They are large monstrosities that are generally evil. They pack quite a bit of a punch. They tend to claw at you, and they also have an ability, as well as using both of the, as well as clawing at you. They have a gaze attack that can cause you to start being paralyzed if you're caught in it. They do, although they do have a specific weakness where they are afraid of fire, which can cause you to help you out in combat.
I know just the spell.
Carnelian will relay this information. Not going to lie to you guys, a Yeti might be a bit of a step up from a Verbeeg. However, they are terrified of fire. So we could perhaps use that to our advantage to at least drive it off if it is still by the sled. Because we are not here to hunt the Yeti, we are here to recover the sled.
Very true.
Just one Yeti.
No need to fight the Yeti if we don't need to.
Unfortunately, we would normally have fire with Ubok, but he was pulling the sled.
This
And we couldn't beat off our Yeti attacker.
legendary figure in the
I'm
dwarven
imagining
community.
he was shirtless the entire time as he was pulling the
Shirtless and
sled.
glistening. Such a dwarf. I would follow him to hell and back, to Avernus and back. Some say that the fate of all dwarves rested on his back. I believed it.
You've lost quite an asset.
Who would have thought that he would have died senselessly out here in the ice?
She just keeps going. We just have to walk away.
Back to our
Broad shoulders. He was wider than he was tall, like any good dwarf. A beard that you could nest a bird in.
I think I'm in love with him. I really
Such a
do.
dreamy man.
I really do.
I don't know what we'll do without him. He was the last hope of all northern dwarves. Perhaps if you find him again, you could somehow save him. Maybe if you attach his limbs back together. Perhaps if one of you is skilled enough with revivification magic. I'm sure of it. He's the most important person in this entire adventure. Any quest that you had before can now be forgotten. You must revive Ubok. He is our only hope. I'm sorry, I'm rambling.
Are all the dwarves in the Dale of Clan Battlehammer?
What are you implying with that?
No,
Are we all
legit-
incestuous? If only for Ubok.
No, I'm legitimately curious if there are other clans in...
No, there are plenty of other clans.
Okay. It's just, it's not a populous area, so it could legitimately be the case.
No, there are other clans of dwarves, and they do a lot of work. And the Khan and around the Khan is typically where they're sort of found. If not, some clans also live closer to the spine, but it's actually more common for them to be around the Khan.
Yeah.
What was that clan? Sorry.
Battlehammer.
Battlehammer.
That is a rather, out of character, that is a rather famous clan of dwarves. Thanks, R.A. Salvatore.
Hey. Well, you'll do it, though.
Hey,
Hey.
we'll do it.
Just make sure, remember, keep Ubok in your thoughts.
I'll never
In
forget.
fact, if you have...
I don't think I'm ever going to forget Ubok.
In fact, if you can start worshipping him, maybe you'll have the strength to return as a dwarven deity.
I don't know if I have enough place in my heart for Kelemvoren Ubok. I mean, he's a remarkable dwarf.
It's a shame. Well,
Okay, bye.
you can find me at the... You can find me at the Black Iron Blades when you have the shipment.
Are you a smith there?
Nay, we should be returning back to the Dwarven Valley near the Khan. But I feel that I should at least wait a couple of days for you to possibly come back.
Sorry, but can I do maybe some kind of knowledge check about the Dwarven Valley? Is this so dwarves actually live there? It lives up to its namesake.
Littered in dwarves.
You could do a history check if you wanted to, but for you, it's probably going to be disadvantage.
That's fine. What was it? History?
History.
It's just swarming with them. A plague of dwarves. 12 and 13, not bad. So 16.
You have heard from your limited time here that, there is a valley that's not far from the Khan. You guys were sort of thinking that you might have to head that way when you were thinking in Care Konig, I think it was, that dwarves might be responsible for the theft of all those items. But as you were following them, it turned away from that valley and further towards the Khan itself.
Okay.
The valley is actually not far from it, a little bit south.
Gotcha.
And it is, there's a number of different dwarven clans that reside there. That's where, when you heard about it in Care Konig, there was ale being produced that they had. That's where it's coming from.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Where there's dwarves, there's ale.
Hey, pour one out for Ubok. Starts just pouring an ale out.
The whole thing?
Enjoy it.
Carnelian
No, not mine.
looks down at his maid and then continues drinking it.
That's disrespectful.
It's perfectly good mead.
Pray, damn you!
I'm going back to the table.
I'll see you at the Black Iron Blades.
Carnelian will nod and then head back.
Yes.
I believe in all of you. You seem to be strong adventurers.
Can,
See it in your eyes.
can assure you we are. And I tense my neck.
Oh my god. I think I can see Ubok in his veins.
Freddy Ubok, we see this.
He would challenge you to an arm wrestle immediately. As it were, I wouldn't dare challenge you. You look strong.
She's not sure, but she thinks she can almost spell out Ubok in the veins.
That's impressive. What were you guys
How do you
eventually?
spell Ubok?
Double. It's,
In between the lines.
well, no, I'm not going to do that. OOBOK.
Okay, so it's double O, not U.
Yeah. Ubok. So you guys leave the table with the dwarves. Huron is still going on about Ubok. And you sit back down at your own table.
Wow, that was really easy. We should get some more quests while we're here.
I don't think that was... Wait. Oh, you mean like finding it?
Finding one, yeah.
I mean, because the hard part is next. You actually have to go do the thing.
Yeah, you're right. Maybe we should do a scan of the tav.
Yeah.
Listen out for more?
Woden gets up on his knees on the chair and looks around, looking for anyone exciting looking.
Roll me a d10.
Anything but a 2.
Just roll again on that too.
The dwarves are still staring
So-
at you.
Sorry?
4.
You are listening around, and you can hear that there is a table just across from you, and there's two guys talking. And you hear, I hear if you go to Caer Konig, you should keep your stuff strapped real close. Yeah, it's been beset. There's vandals that skulk about unseen in the town. I heard that the town speaker, Trovis, could really use some help catching some thieves out that way. Oh, yeah, maybe I can make myself a good little gobble.
He said gabagool.
Unseen, you said, it's missing one. There's some important lantern at the front of an inn. Could be a good haul, if you know what I mean.
These guys are about to waste a whole bunch of time. What a bunch of
You
idiots.
know what? We should leave right now. I think if we leave right now, we could get to Caer Konig in real good time.
So literally no one with him. It's just him.
And he gets up and goes to the other side of the table. Oh, but isn't it a bit too far away? Isn't he, little brat? We can do it. We can make it real big. All right, we're going right now. He stands up, flips the table over, and sprints out the door.
Sorry, just from that rambling, is the implication that he's going to steal the lantern?
I think that could be up for you to decide what's going to happen there.
Throw my stuff at him.
He's become the quest.
I'd like to cash in this quest immediately.
Oh my God.
What did you hear, Woden?
Yeah, could you just recount it exactly?
So, he was all like, I am here with SBL, and then I go to Caer Konig, and then I'm missing things. That's all I really heard.
Caer Konig.
Stop listening, we've done that one.
You need to practice.
Done that. Indeed.
You need to practice your listening, Woden.
I'm sorry, what?
Use those ears of yours. I know they're not as big as mine, but
Oh, huge ears. You.
flop.
Horatio's going to look over at the bar. Is it still busy?
Yeah, there's still people going up constantly.
Okay.
And he's just the barber's just running from person to person.
Okay. Any other... I guess scanning the other tables, is there anyone who appears not to be engaging in some kind of frivolity? Is there anyone looking a bit serious? Solemn or serious?
I mean, that's the section where you're in. Probably the most interesting people are the dwarves.
Oh, we're in the sad sack
You're
school.
you're in the quest interest area. The only other thing of note that you can see around you is you can see there are two guys who are arm in arm standing in front of the giant stuffed trout, and they're yelling at it. Come on! I bet him a soul you can do it! Don't call me a liar now. What are you talking about? It's just a fucking fish. Just listen to it. I bet if you get closer. Don't get close to it. He's like another person from the crowd. Bite your arm off. It's just a starfish. It's more than that. It's this whole conversation going on by a stuffed fish.
Carnelian is gonna like pull out his bow and viola, and rather than playing though, he's gonna like start like doing a little practice. He's like thinks, and then he like plays some tune. He like plays some notes. He's like,
everyone else roll a perception check.
15.
9.
8.
Sveta, when Cornelian started playing, did that fishtail twitch?
I believe it did. Are you cursing that fish?
my what?
Your music, it's doing something to that fish.
Carnelian will like look over at the fish and like play some more notes.
And then everyone's watching. It's like you have no idea, but every so often you're like, did the end of that fishtail move? Is that an eye moving around? It's really hard to see from as far away as you are.
No, I don't think so.
Stop.
But my music.
But they might look at you and bring attention. Or do, and they might tie you up and throw you out. I don't know.
Must play.
Let me go have a look at the fish.
Carnelian will like
Excuse me for a moment.
put the viola down and like instead pull out like some paper and start scribbling in Draconic. Just like it's got like note marks and like timing notations. He's scripting like a verse.
Fish ballad.
Horatio, if you're approaching the fish, you can see the two guys now are like, there's one of them's like, I'm gonna touch it! Alright, give him the fish. Don't give him the fish!
There you go.
Do you know my mom? Oh! And like taking turns daring each other to touch it.
And I'll just like try and look around as if I'm trying to work it. Trying to yell, but as if it didn't come from me. And just call out, I'll give 5 gold if you touch it.
Who said that?
And I'll just...
5 gold's pretty good. That's pretty good.
That is a good deal.
You're gonna touch it anyway, right? Yeah, no, you're gonna touch it. No, you touch it. Oh, you touch it.
Just
You touch it.
touch it.
Who said that? You touch it. You touch it. I'm not gonna touch it. No, you touch it.
I'm walking away.
That bit from The Simpsons who's like, who keeps saying that? It was him. It was get him.
Do you hear anything else, Walden?
No, but slim chance. Do I see any young, headstrong-looking females who look like they may be the speaker of the town?
That's very specific.
We don't know if she's young. We just know that she's young for a speaker. She's probably middle-aged.
I mean, if you're interested, I know what she looks like.
Oh.
I've met her.
Well, maybe you can help me look.
Yeah, that description, Warden, sounds remarkably like, not Olivessa, I can tell you that. Duvessa.
Roll a perception check.
May I assist him, given I know who
Sure.
she looks like? What she looks like? Who she looks like? You look remarkably like my mum.
Mother?
It's 11.
12.
You don't see Devessa here. You'd think that she'd stand out because she's always sort of flanked by a few guards.
Oh, okay.
Don't see her.
Well,
I feel we've got another lead in here. I can just perceive it. I can perceive it. I'm just going to do a lap of the...
Why do you want
Tav.
another lead?
Why don't I want another lead?
A lead for what?
more missions.
Do I have to
He wants a
spell it
line
out?
for that fish.
I'm just going to hop up and just do a quick lap of the Tav.
Okay.
Listen out for hot goss.
Roll one more d10.
Yay!
So the last one.
I get to do one. That's a
That
5.
was a D8.
Disregard, Kim. Disregard.
Right?
That's a 10. Oh yeah,
Oh,
boom
yeah.
on the boss battle.
Probably going to be Durgan's hold.
Oh, I hope not.
You doing a lap of the bar, Oh, sorry, and like that's where you're close to, and you can see two people that are standing there talking, drinks in hand. Like, did you know Speaker Mashu has closed the town's lucrative gem mines? Apparently, some gang of kobolds crept into the mine and endangered some of the miners.
Oh, no.
I guess anyone who can clear out that would be pretty well compensated. Kobolds, you say? Wasn't there a kobold in here just before?
Absolutely not. He left.
Could have sworn. Maybe they'll just accept the heads of any kobolds.
Absolutely not. He left.
Tourmaline's not that far from here. Maybe we just go find a bunch of kobolds. No one will miss them.
Excuse me, are they gentlemen?
Oh, hi!
Milady? I don't know where you are.
Yes.
Oh, you're the guy from The Simpsons who had a stroke, aren't you?
Oh my god, Vincent Price!
Yeah.
What can I do for you? Such
I
a handsome man. He's a man of the cloth. Don't try and hit on him.
Yes, don't tempt me.
I've heard none of them have sex. Completely chased all of them.
Couldn't help but overhear you mention a gem mine. I'm something of a gemologist myself.
Speaker of the town of Tourmaline closed the mine. As I said, apparently some gang of kobolds crept in.
What was the speaker's name again?
Here's a Massu.
You got an issue? Here's a Massu.
Here's a Massu.
So that's what he
Is
does,
there
but what's
an
his
H in
name?
there, or-
There is a Masthew. Screw you, people who wrote this adventure. Just call them Matthew.
Mathieu.
I think Matthew was perhaps a bit more like Southern Europe.
I don't care. Matthew is annoying.
Matthew?
Math stew?
Matthew.
Matthew.
It's Mathew. Matthew. It's like saying Matthew with a lisp.
Matthew.
Maybe it is just supposed to be pronounced Matthew, but it's a different, it's an older spelling.
Well, they should just have said Matthew.
Well, this is your chance, DM. What's their name? Matthew?
No, it's Matthew.
Okay, Matthew. So gem mines occupied by kobolds.
Oh, yes.
Elaborate.
That's all I've got. It was what you would call a rumour.
Okay. Are you from Tourmaline yourself? Tourmaline?
No. I'm from Waterdeep.
Oh.
You're not from Waterdeep. Stop pretending. Oh, shut up.
I don't want to help these people.
Thank you for your
Helping
time.
those people.
And I'll walk away.
Hate to see him leave. Love to watch him walk away.
Let's throw up a bit in my mouth.
Okay. I think there's other than that, there's nothing else that you really hear of interest at this time.
Okay. Come back. Well, that was kind of productive, I suppose. Well, we've got a couple of leads.
What did you find out about the fish?
The fish, no one... They were all just a bunch of sissies. No one's going to touch that fish.
I mean, would you touch the fish?
No, absolutely not.
Dream of it.
This thing's big enough to swallow me whole.
Exactly. Did find out that there is, and brace yourself, Carnelian. I did find out that there is a gem mine in Tourmaline
Gem mine.
that has been occupied by kobolds.
Really?
According to a rumour I heard from two flamboyant gentlemen.
Or ladies.
Or women. I couldn't tell. They, them.
I don't know. How did they smell?
How did they smell? Excuse me, and I'll head up and I'll just walk up behind them.
Flamboyant.
They smelled remarkably flamboyant.
No, it could be either then.
A little fruity, perhaps. Just something to keep in mind.
I didn't realize there were other kobolds in the 10 towns.
Well, perhaps it would be good to go and meet them at some stage when we're heading north.
Well, if we're ever in Tourmaline, we can definitely go say hello.
It's almost on the way.
If we're heading towards Michelangelo.
I'm sorry, where?
The shack that was north of the Lonely Wood.
Macretus.
Macretus!
Yeah, I can see how you
Mr. Macretus.
So, I think, though, that there is nothing more that you can really gain from being in the tavern. Eventually, unless you're wanting to spend some coin here to get a bit wasted, although you do have a light hangover from your original experience in Goodmead.
Oh no, I'm
One
not,
and done.
I'm not going after a Yeti with a hangover. We are heading back after this first drink.
Afterwards, you can head back to the House of the Morning Lord. It's still lit pretty well in the lower floor, and you have a key.
Okay.
Let you in after hours.
Yep.
Unless
Yep.
we want to go to the town hall for the speaker and meet her there. Oh, we might have missed her.
We may have, well, what time is it at this
Probably
stage?
a bit late, isn't it?
It is evening.
All right. No, we can
Maybe
just
if
go
we
there in the
like
morning.
Catch you in the
start,
morning.
maybe if we like go get this shipment, then we can get like a good word put in with us with the speaker, and she'll come to us.
Possibly.
I mean, if the shipment was important, maybe the speaker is going to want to come and find out what's happened.
Yeah, you are right. I can't help but feel it might be worth just checking in with her briefly. Let's sleep on it. I'll unlock the door and I'm going.
So you guys can separate yourselves as you want.
Carnelian will occupy the hammock.
So it's Carnelian, Horatio, Woden and Sveta, or is it just Carnelian, Horatio, and Woden and Sveta in her own room?
Want to go head to toe, Horatio? Head to
mean-
toe, Horatio.
I could roll out the sleeping bag.
No, head to toe's fine.
Head to,
Move over, I'm coming in.
oh,
Just go for a little spoon action.
Just leave Beefcliff between you two.
Keep space for Glenvor. The night otherwise passes somewhat uneventfully, and you can rise early in the morning. As you come downstairs, you can see that Mishan is there in front of the altar, and with all the lights there, she seems to be basking in the lights that are around her.
Oh, beautiful morning. Mishan.
Yes. Good morning.
Monitor's blessed us today.
That'll get you killed in some places. Anyway.
You love it, though.
Nope. Is there anything I can do? You're interrupting my prayers.
Breakfast?
No. We do not provide breakfast to... We're not an inn.
We may have to go and acquire it ourselves.
Do you not have like rations?
Yeah, but I don't want my food. I feel like eggs.
So I'm going to say that what you can do is you've got to head to the North Gate anyway to get out. You can stop by the Northlook and grab a bite to eat, some breakfast. Get
We
something in your
could.
stomach.
Have we decided whether we're heading straight out?
Oh, yeah, okay.
We should ask Sean. You wouldn't happen to know where we could acquire some beasts of burden, either to purchase or to rent?
And she looks a little bit annoyed because she's like, no, I can't think of anything off the top of my head right now. I am filled with other distractions. I'm sorry.
That's what's right.
Would Horatio know, just having been here?
Would I have come across a stable at some stage?
Yeah, there's definitely stables here.
There's a few stables around. I'm sure we could approach them and rent some beasts of burden. Yes.
How much did they say was the total weight of the car?
600, I think.
Was it
300
plus
plus
Iron was
600.
or 300? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like nearly a ton.
I'll just give them our weight and let them do us up a quote.
Okay, so there are some stables in town. They are towards the southwest gate, though, so you have to go all the way across town, go to the stables, then go all the way north again to leave town.
Well, we can put in an order for the donkeys on the way to the town hall or the council hall, and then pick up the donkeys on the way out.
Sure.
It's only a minor detour.
1, 2, 3, break.
And then you're like leaving, and you can just see Mishan visibly relaxing.
Bye, Mishan.
Sorry, Mishan. Sorry, Mishan. We're not coming back. So, well, not today anyway. So,
Okay.
Yes, thank you.
farewell.
And so you leave the House of the Morning Lord, and you're going to head back towards the town hall.
Yeah, I think it's
Yeah,
worth
try it.
just saying hello.
Try the first place again.
Yeah.
The four of you as well, now that you have Otto and Dogcliff in tow, leave the House of the Morning Lord, go through the winding streets that eventually will take you past the town hall. You start heading down. There's like an open square across from the town hall from where you are, and you start walking across. It still looks like the place is locked up. But as you approach, you can see coming around the corner is a very young female figure, flanked on all sides by 4 guards that have pikes, and they are marching towards the town hall. Across from you, you found your elusive speaker, Devessa. But unfortunately, we're going to have to find out what she has to say next week on Reflex.
Just a moment of your time. Just, wait.
Gotta get in. Please leave a note with my receptionist.
She's out in a tracksuit like John Howard.
that's right.
Now you
Good
comment.
morning walk.
Sorry.
Fingers, noses, and ear. That's unfortunate.
Fingers, toes, and nose and ears. Nose and ears. Missing bits.
Amputees, 1, 2, 3.
Oh, that's actually really good.